Has this ever happened to you? Ever got bitten, run out of ammo, or just disappointed with your inventory? Then come on down to the Merchant's Emporium. Hi, I'm the Merchant. You might not have seen me around, but I know I've seen you. Ha ha ha! No matter the situation, I'm always there to help. As long as you got the gold, I've got the supplies.
But I don't have enough money.
I'll buy stuff of ya. I'll buy it at a high price. So, what are you buying? Or what are you selling? Anything's possible with me, the Merchant. Wondering where you can find me? I can be under your bed, on top of your bed, in your bed. All you need to do is find me!
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Capcom did it! They pushed the button! It's been 18 years since the original Resident Evil 4, and during all that time this game has withstood the test of time. It's been praised as one of the greatest games of all time, but that was 18 years ago. Does that still hold up? I don't know. I never played the original, but I did see it being ported to everything Capcom could get their hands on. Hell, this game is still being ported to this day. I was considering buying an Oculus Rift just for this game alone, but not wanting to spend £300 or more, I was instead gonna play the original last Halloween. But with the knowledge of the remake, what was the point? Everybody in the mothers has played the original, but not me, so I wanted to put a fresh perspective out there. Hell, I never played any of the older Resident Evil games. I only played 5, 6, and 7, but that's it. Heck, I'm playing 5 right now with a friend and I'm loving it. So jumping into 5 to then 4 remake is a massive jump, and knowing that Leon from Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 4 is the same person made this game a little skewed for me, but the game has a recap that explains the events more or less, and it's fine. I'll eventually go back and replay it, but for everything this game brings with no prior knowledge to the last game, how is it? Well, where do I start? The story, I suppose. The story is the same as the original, but with a few additional changes. But what they are, who knows? I never played the original. But as for the story, the president's daughter is missing and it's your job to go track her down and bring her home. And that's it, that's the story. It's super simple but very effective with the way the game goes about it. As for the changes, again, no idea what they are, but I heard they're pretty good changes. They add a lot more character dynamic and the overall tone to the story itself. But as far as I go with no knowledge on the old game, I love the new changes. I have no idea what the old ones were, but everything to do with the story felt grounded while also feeling like I was on a roller coaster of non-stop action. The game and its characters are great. During the beginning of the game, Leon originally felt like such a downer, but that quickly changed with him being super charismatic and cheesy. I grew to love him, and I think I understand why so many other people feel the same way. He manages to liven up the mood in a dark situation without it being too serious. And he understands that he's there for the job. He doesn't run away or look for a way out. Instead, he's committed and wants to save the life of the president's daughter by any means. And his growth from Resident Evil 2 feels like a natural progression. He doesn't throw out jokes or random one-liners for no reason. Instead, he retains his humanity by making the jokes with the situations he's in, while also deepening his bond with Ashley. And as for Ashley, from everything I've heard about the original Ashley, she sucks. But new Ashley, hell yeah, brother. She's so sick. I really like her. She feels like how a real person would act in a situation where they were just kidnapped. And not just kidnapped, but seeing all these weird bug men, cloak men, big men, transform men. And through it all, she is not annoying or even obnoxious. Instead, the dynamic between her and Leon is so cute. And I would love to see her in a new game where she would accompany Leon again. That would be so cool. And maybe this time around, she could be more like Sheva, or hell, Ellie or Elizabeth through Bioshock or The Last of Us. Give her more stuff to do next time. The only aspect of the story I didn't like is Ada. First off, I never liked Ada. She's always been a character that's mysterious for the sake of being mysterious. But at least in Resident Evil 6, she had a bit of charisma. But here, where everybody shines and is a perfect example of a glow-up, she's a wet blanket in a sea of gold. her voice actress feels like she doesn't want to be here, and it's almost like she's forcing in her lines.
Try using knives next time. Better for close encounters.
Not a bad move. Very smooth.
So who are you working for this time?
Oh, Leon. You know I don't work in town. Leave the girl. She's lost no matter what. You walk away now, and who knows? Maybe you'll live to meet me again. And then I might get you that greeting you were looking for.
You think I'm gonna give up that easy?
Right. How about we continue this discussion another time?
Whenever she's on screen, I have to groan because she always brings down the hype. But I hear from a lot of people that Ada in Resident Evil 2 Remake is a lot better, so I really want to play it just to hear her. I think seeing that they changed her in Resident Evil 2, I think they'll change her again, and it's gonna be for the best. One other criticism is that the bosses don't have enough screen time. They show up, do one bad thing, and then eventually you fight them. But they never mock Leon for his attempt to try and save Ashley. They never talk down to him or talk jack shit about him. The bosses don't have any character. But I suppose for the realistic nature that this game is going for, it makes sense. But when Leon is an oddball goofball, I kinda wish they did. But overall, I think I really like this new direction Capcom is going in. I can't imagine what they will do with the wonky story that is Resident Evil 6. Will they remake it? Because that game was something else. Heck, RE5 is gonna be strange, but 6 really takes the cake for how bad the story was. And finally, the story has to get a rating of 9 out of 10. It's really good. I love the way the characters act and react to the situations they're in. And going forward with the Resident Evil franchise, I really hope there's going to be a big story conflict involving all the main characters, giving them a definitive end. It's nice to see them, but when the overall story has no idea what to do with the main cast, it's time to start over. Like, I want to see them again at some point, but when the characters have no real definitive end and have finished their clear goals, where do you take them? Regardless, even if the characters have a definitive end, the gameplay doesn't. I haven't had this much fun with the game in so long. But what makes Remake so good is that Capcom really went back to the drawing board and redid aspects from the other Resident Evil games and decided what needed to change and improve on. Like the knife. The knife has changed everything. In every Resident Evil game, the knife is the most basic weapon you have. It's only there so you can do the most basic of tasks, like breaking a box or taking down weak enemies. And instead of that, the Resident Evil 4 Remake team went back and made the knife into a weapon that's on par with everything else. Now the knife is a resource, same as the ammo. It will break after some use, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that, but I understand why. Thankfully, you can find other knives around in case the main one breaks, but what makes the knife so good this time around comes from the new things you're able to do with it. Now with a knife, you're able to parry any and all incoming attacks, and if you're able to parry successfully, you can follow up with a melee attack and take out multiple enemies at once. It's so sick. It's insane, and it's possibly one of the best new mechanics in a Resident Evil game. Also, the knife now plays a huge role. As a remake, to my knowledge, is the first Resident Evil game with stealth kills, and with the knife, it can take out mini bosses with one sneak attack. It's so sick. But with how cool the stealth sections are, it does have a few problems as it wasn't really designed for the game, and it's easy to tell when it's missing so many features a stealth game would have. But it works, and when it does, it's great. And continuing with the knife, I love it so much. Enemy's gonna throw an axe, parry that shit. Oh, they're gonna attack you head on, bap! Not anymore. Oh, they're on the ground, stab them in the neck. It's so sick. There's even a whole boss fight involving just a knife, and it's so badass. Oh shit, this game is awesome. But the game really shines when in high stakes combat. facing hordes of enemies that are coming from all over the place while you're trapped in a small area while you're finding a way out is fantastic. The game gets you on an adrenaline kick that doesn't stop, and it's a great feeling. You feel invincible, knowing that you're finding your way through a super tough battle where you're left with no ammo, no heals. You feel like a god, just knowing that you got through a tough battle with nothing left. And it's all thanks to the knife, baby. Now that it breaks, resource management is at an all-time high. Compared to other Resident Evil games, whenever I feel like saving on ammo, I can just pull out the knife. But because now the knife breaks and has a crucial use, it really amps up the stakes on the survival horror aspect. While Resident Evil 4 isn't a scary game, it is a terrifying experience, knowing that you might not have enough resource for the next battle up ahead, so you really have to scrounge around and have to keep as much as you can to fight with what you have, and it's great. It makes every battle enjoyable because you end up using everything and are left with nothing, but you'll find enough ammo and resources back to make up for it, so it really balances out. And what really helps with that is the briefcase. Just like the original game, it serves the same purpose. You need to adjust the items that you want and have to really think strategically if they'll help. And it's so much fun fiddling around with the items that you have to try and fit everything with like 5 guns in one case. Yes, I might be in the middle of a fight, but Ashley can wait and the enemies can wait. I cannot express my desire, my love for the briefcase. But with that, the resource gathering and trying not to waste as many resources as you can is such a joyous experience, because sometimes you do not want to waste anything and you are going through the whole game really slowly, stabbing people or just running away just so that you can just save on resource. But you know, every now and then you'll look back into your inventory and go, why didn't I just use this so I didn't have to waste 2 hours of my life? That's happened to me numerous times. But that being said, I love games with this style of inventory, like the original Deus Ex. It makes the weapons and items you carry feel more immersive, and it gives them a greater weight, knowing that you only have a finite amount of space to use. And I hope they bring this style of inventory back in the future. But just don't get too attached, cause this was me in a lot of situations. That must have been the last of them.
Leon, what's that?
What, you mean this?
Yeah,
Oh, it's dynamite.
but can we have used it back there?
Ashley, what's wrong with you, huh? But like, the infected, they could come at any moment. You don't know when we need the dynamite. I could use the dynamite whenever I need to, Ashley. Oh, when you ask me, why didn't I use my bullets? Why did I use my bullets? Because I need to save with the resources, Ashley. I need to save with the resources. It's too many. Yeah, that's what I mean. But also, what really helps with the combat are the weapons and enemies that you face. The weapons feel great. Each one has the weight and destructive power behind them to make them feel like how they should. And switching between them while facing a horde of enemies is such an immaculate feeling. And the guns all have a crunchy feeling to them. I love it. And if you only want to use one weapon like the knife, you can, it's possible. You just have to be careful. Unlike other Resident Evil games, you can upgrade them to be even better. And the guns in this game, oh my god, the guns in this game, some are so secretive, it's crazy. As for the enemies, there are so many different types, and the further you get into the game, the more horrendous and outlandish they become. It's such a fascinating enemy type too. So apparently a parasite was created where it was then put into the villagers, where they would then become puppets. Well, what's really cool is the lore behind them, and the further you get into the game, and the more you look around, you'll find pieces and information indicating the transformations and the experiments, as well as the final moments of someone's life before they turn into a zombie. It's so cool, and there are so many different types of enemies where there's a hierarchy between them. I cannot stress this enough. I love it so much. And as far as the bosses go, holy shit, this game has some of the coolest boss fights I've seen in such a long time. Even after playing Resident Evil 5, the boss fights are just not up to the level of Resident Evil 4. The game's boss fights really invoke a feeling of terror. You find these disgusting parasites that come in all forms of shapes and sizes, but what makes them so different is how they actively won't stop until they're eviscerated. And just the sheer creativity that went into the boss fights are so cool. Like, there's a fish boss that could have been boring, but man, they made it super fun. Heck, I didn't even know it was a boss. At some point while I was scrolling Twitter, I just saw someone tweet, "Hey, shoot this lake, you'll get coins." And I was like, okay. And the next thing I knew, I got killed by some fish. And I was like, what? Roll the clip. Oh shit! I did not get that on camera. Bro, I was... What? But it's so cool and it was so memorable. And what helps with that is the goddamn level design. Holy shit! What I love about this game is that you're constantly moving and never in one place. The game honestly is an on-rails roller coaster where things are happening and I'm in for the ride. The locations and set pieces that you witness as you're playing through it is amazing. No location is the same. Even when you return to certain areas, the game blows me away with how drastically different the game can look, all thanks to the art direction. The RE engine makes the locations you go through absolutely stunning. And it's not just the visuals alone, the sound quality is fantastic. The sound team, my god, holy shit, deserves so much praise. From the guns to the creaking of the abandoned village, it's also memorable and such a fantastic experience. And outside of the story, there are still things you can do. The merchant has tasks they're able to do. And those are just little bonuses they're able to do to maximize the game. I know I was doing them because I didn't want this game to end. Along with that, the game has a gun garage that's so much fun. I spent hours completing it and trying to get all of it done just to maximize my hours. And finally, the gameplay for Resident Evil 4 Remake is a perfect 10 out of 10. I love this game so much. And I am gonna have to go back and replay the original because I need to compare it and see what I think of that. And then I need to play Resident Evil 2 and then 3 Remake. And oh my lord, I'm in Resident Evil fever right now. I'm excited. And I can only hope that moving forward, Capcom doesn't exclusively make Resident Evil games in first person, when Resident Evil 4 Remake has shown them how to do a third person one with the same intensity and action-packed nature that the future games have gone for, especially Resident Evil 8 from what I've heard. I hope they really take the style of gameplay into consideration with the Resident Evil 5 Remake, or hell, I was doing some research and the original RE5 concept seems scary, so maybe they'll go for that. Regardless, that is it for me. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, follow, and like. And I guess that's it, baby. I could not catch it. Ow.
Welcome back, stranger. Seeking me out, were you? Well then, I've got plenty of new items on sale just for you. Want your guns to be stronger, faster, better? Then, I've got the item that'll help. I've got tickets, stranger. Tickets that can be used to make your life easier. Worried it's cheating? Well, it ain't cheating if no one knows about it. I'll keep it a secret, just between us. What do you say? There's already a boatload of people buying them. You don't want to miss out, do ya? There's no downsides. It's cheap. Only starting at $2.99. What do you say, stranger? I know you want it. You know you need it. And if you're unsure, stranger, we'd have either let you down. If you want it, you know where to find me, stranger. A lot of fools are buying them. Business is back. What do you mean the camera's still on? You're gonna cut this out, right? Okay.